My name's Stuart Payne. I'm the Chief Executive of the North Sea Transition Authority. I'd like to start off by thanking Innovation Zero for organising the event, and for Powerful Women and the Carbon Capture and Storage Association, who are sponsoring the Energy Forum for the event. Now, the NSTA may not be a household name to all of you, but we're an example of an organisation that is delivering and helping to deliver the energy transition in real time. And I want to speak a little bit today about the journey that we've been on, the journey that the North Sea is on, and to share with you some recent developments, including some exciting news that we've recently had. I also want to talk about the people that we're going to need to make this transition happen. The NSTA was born 10 years ago, initially created as the Oil and Gas Authority. Our job was to primarily regulate oil and gas in the North Sea, but a decade is a long time in energy. Since then, we've changed our organisation and put net zero at the heart of our strategy and the heart of what we do. And our role is much broader than it was. Today, we've got three main aims: to help accelerate the North Sea transition, to help the UK secure the energy that it needs, and to make sure that our energy is provided in as clean a way as possible. As well as oil and gas, we now regulate and license the offshore hydrogen and carbon storage industries. That's our day job. And within that day job, our staff's roles have transitioned and changed too. Geologists and engineers that joined us as oil and gas specialists now spend their time reviewing carbon storage projects. Our market experts, who used to link up supply chain companies with oil and gas operators, are now making those links often with offshore wind operators. And our technology team have turned their understanding of molecules to explore how offshore hydrogen storage could both provide a resolution to intermittency and unlock the full potential of our offshore wind opportunities. This isn't just talk, but real action. In the last 5 months, we've awarded permits for 2 carbon storage projects that will see over 200 million tonnes of CO2 locked away under the seabed forever. That's the equivalent of taking 110 million cars off the road. In doing so, we've helped turn long-held ambition into reality. We are the energy transition in action, and what we do really matters, even if you may not have ever heard of us. Now, the North Sea's history has been in oil and gas, helping to power, heat, and move a nation. Even today, fossil fuels in the UK accounts for around 3/4 of the energy that all of us use. Demand for those molecules must and will shrink. But as the government has made clear, we'll still need oil and gas for decades to come as part of the energy mix. The government is currently consulting on the future and their future vision for the North Sea. The consultation covers many things, including licensing, skills, and the workforce of the future. But at its core, it's a recognition of the importance of managing the transition away from oil and gas. If we get it right, the North Sea can have a prosperous future that creates and safeguards employment, generates billions and billions of pounds of investment across the offshore energy industry. If we get it wrong, we risk losing the vital support of the public and investors, and risk missing out on the opportunities for growth, jobs, and energy security. And there will be opportunities for real synergy, physically connecting different energy systems, including offshore wind, hydrogen, and oil and gas. And this already happens in the southern North and East Irish Seas, where we have wind turbines operating above existing gas fields. The Green Vault project will see an innovative floating wind turbine system powering not only UK houses, but also oil and gas facilities, driving down those emissions. And in addition to this co-location, we know that there's a massive opportunity that we've got to transition the kit, the capability, and the capital from one industry into a new one. And nowhere is this more true than in carbon capture and storage. This is a vital cog in the UK's net zero future. It's going to require skilled workers from the oil and gas sector, further anchoring the offshore supply chain across the country, and you'll see many representatives of that in the exhibition here today. And we know that we need this. So the UK government's Committee on Climate Change has been crystal clear, describing carbon storage as essential, adding that there is no route to net zero without it. It's a tried and tested technology. The Sleipner field in Norway has been storing 1 million tonnes of CO2 a year since 1996. We know it can be done, and We now know it can be done here, and we've been witnessing carbon storage making waves on this side of the North Sea in recent months. You may have seen the news. Alongside colleagues from DESNZ and Ofgem, we've been able to approve a new project called HyNet, which will seek to store emissions from North Wales and North West England, hot on the heels of approving the Endurance project on the east coast of the UK. Now, if we're going to use oil and gas, and if we're going to use oil and gas from the North Sea, our view is that industry must become cleaner. We must eliminate routine venting and flaring from all of our assets, and we must continually drive down production emissions. Why does that matter? Well, those production emissions make up 3% of the UK's total emissions. That's treble those of a city the size of Birmingham. Progress is being made, but we need to see more, and we need to see it faster. Because that North Sea future is going to be about a balanced diet of energy. It's going to be about more than oil and gas. Those carbon storage projects I mentioned have the opportunity to take the mantle of being a huge industrial heartland in the offshore for decades and decades to come. Just in the announcements around HyNet, for example, we know that 2,000 new jobs will be created. More than 90 miles of oil and gas infrastructure will be repurposed, saving cost and saving carbon. We also know that when we combine the investment between HyNet and Endurance, around £6 billion will now be spent in the UK supply chain. Energy security, emissions reduction, and driving economic prosperity here in the UK. This is all about turning the ambition and the potential into real reality, and we're really proud to be a part of it. Now, if the North Sea is going to have that balanced diet, it's going to have a diversity of energy systems, then we do have to match that with a diversity of people, skills, and talent. Now, diversity and inclusion is getting a rough ride in some quarters right now, but not from me. The transition is a massive opportunity for us as a country, and one we must grab, but it is going to be mind-bogglingly difficult. To get it right, we are going to need the whole team, and we're going to need our strongest lineup. And as a lifelong Liverpool football fan, I've managed to get this far without referencing the outstanding events of the weekend where our team won their 20th league championship. Now, I'll ask that you indulge me just for a moment as I play out a football-based metaphor which I may flog to death, but bear with me. We wouldn't send as a football team even the great Alisson Becker out as a goalkeeper on his own. We wouldn't just pick the brilliant attacking lineup of Salah and Diaz and Jota, and even though I love him from the core of my being, even Virgil van Dijk can't win a match on his own. You need a whole team. And even Liverpool have worked hard this season to have to retain some of their star players, knowing that other people have opportunities, and we may yet lose Trent Alexander-Arnold to Sonia Shaw's the Merseyside. The energy industry, just like a football team, has to work to attract and retain the talent that we need. And in our case, the talent that the transition is going to need. Energy has competition from home and abroad. We have to make ourselves attractive to the brightest and best people. And organisations like Powerful Women, of which I'm proud to be a part, are doing great work in doing just that, trying to tackle underrepresentation of women, the majority of our population, in our sector. This isn't about the need to help women, this is helping our sector, and we've got to be able to attract the best talent. This shouldn't be a tall order. We have a phenomenal opportunity and are entering in the most exciting period of the UK's energy story ever. And as we're seeing with carbon storage, the tremendous opportunities are there and they're real. We think the next chapter in the North Sea can be the best chapter. And we think that's true across all energy sectors. So whoever you are, please seize the day. Put yourself at the forefront of the UK's exciting net zero future. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.